Hey guys, we're back on our Sandersides bullshit. Wait, can I not say that?
Not for the first 30 seconds of the video.
Hey guys, we're back on our Sandersides content. Today we are going to discuss everything you missed in the two newest Sandersides videos, Have I Grown and What's Coming Up. Don't worry y'all, it's not like there were any big revelations, but we wanted to take some time before the finale comes out to talk through what's been going on with the sides in between the videos. Now, you may have read the title of this chapter and said, I already knew that Janice was a snake. And yes. But we are talking specifically about all the secret stuff Janice has been up to. First, in what's coming up, Thomas begins to talk about the Patreon, which causes Janice to appear. Unlike his usual appearances, where he takes the place of another side or just stands in another side's frame, Janice positions himself directly in between Patton and Thomas. This is clearly significant, and Janice knows it as he says,
I'm standing, all the other spaces were have you figured that out yet, when, everyone is present, where we're all gonna stand?
This is an evident shift in power, or more clearly, a visual repercussion of Janice's acceptance. Next, in Have I Grown, we see Thomas interviewing the sides. At one point, Patton tells Thomas how much closer he's getting to Janice and how much nicer Janice is being to him, going as far as to offer Patton a piece of his sandwich. We cut to Janice, who says,
I mistook him for a garbage can.
Sorry, Mo-Seat shippers, but we're continuing to see evidence of Janice's manipulation of the other sides, specifically Patton. When Thomas asks how Janice is meshing with the other sides, Janice replies,
Oh, yes. Let's see. There's my new bestie, Patton, who's always been so good at keeping you in check. I'm sure you'd be totally lost without a man-child who ties a cat hoodie around his neck. And Logan. You can totally see how he's your sense of reason. Especially when he makes mistakes. Roman. You know, despite our differences, I personally see ourselves in this lovely friendship, akin to me being the Voltaire to his Rousseau. And Virgil. Well, there's not much to say there. Except that I do so love the consistency of his makeup.
He is obviously being sarcastic about Patton, insults Roman, and rubs salt in the wound by using a metaphor he knew Roman wouldn't understand, and targets Logan for something he's insecure about. Also, if you want to hear more specifically about Voltaire and Rousseau, stay tuned. He also mentions Virgil's changing eyeshadow, something we know Virgil was adamant to share with Thomas. This exchange is very reminiscent of their relationship in SVS, where Janice taunts Virgil for not telling Thomas he was a dark side. Simply put, Janice is not fond of the sides and doesn't hide it. I'm a fan of Patton and Janice being friends as much as the next person, but going forward, we need to remember that Janice was only accepted by Thomas, and he almost certainly has bad intentions. This is specifically shown here.
A lack of attention to detail. I've grown.
Where Janice outright states that he is getting better at pretending to be the other sides.
Now we're going to be talking about everything that could be considered foreshadowing. As most of you watching know, the first video on our channel is a theory as to what the orange side could represent. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely go watch it, as we are going to be using it as a base for most of this section of the video. We absolutely need to talk about this clip of Remus.
Coming up. What? Oh, honey. You got a big storm coming. Soap!
Remus, and as we later learn, Janice, both know about what is coming for Thomas. Assuming the end card is anything to go by, this storm that's coming is the orange side. We believe the orange side will represent rage, and as things heat up, we are seeing rage/rage-affiliated issues continue to pop up. In the latest Sanders Asides, we see Logan snap, which causes his eyes to flare orange. One reason for this could be because he's being ignored by both Thomas and Remus. This concept of being ignored is brought up again in Have I Grown, as Logan says,
Quite a lot has changed in the past years, not only with you learning about Janice's and Remus's existence, but also in how we conduct our day-to-day. Some examples being us generally talking to each other more respectfully and leaving behind past toxic behaviors. Of course, there's still work to be done on that front. The talking may be there, but the listening is another story.
There is a theme of issues not being resolved, and the level of communication between the sides is at an all-time low. When Thomas asks what the sides regret, Roman, Virgil, and Patton all bring up things related to rage. Roman wishes he threw paper at Logan first and learning new things about ourselves. Virgil wishes he never got Logan starting on yelling falsehood, which is basically an outburst of rage, and Patton regrets not sharing his feelings with the others, something that made him lash out at Logan. Logan regrets throwing the paper at Roman and clearly feels ashamed he had such an outburst. Later, when Janice is asked what comes next, he replies,
Oh, who's to say? Heartbreak? Betrayal? You won't be bored, I can tell you that.
This cannot bode well for Thomas and his relationship with Nico. The words heartbreak and deception could easily be attributed to some sort of falling out or fight between a couple that may spark the introduction of the next side or another serious event. Speaking of Nico, Patton had a very weird reaction when Thomas asked what he thought of his new love interest.
Yeah, Nico. He seems nice. Looking forward to getting to know him.
Which says that though it appears Thomas is happy about Nico, something inside indicates that Thomas doesn't trust him. Some other details that could be foreshadowing, but don't really fall into the orange side territory, are Virgil bringing his puppet form, a visual representation of his heterochromia, Thomas's shirt being a floral print skull, which only happened once when Janice was introduced, and Remus bringing up the Mind Palace.
Welcome to the final chapter. Gay. This is the time for us to really just run through how the sides are feeling about each other at the moment. First up is Janice and Roman. Remember how we said we would dig into that insult Janice threw at Roman? Well, here you go. Voltaire and Rousseau were a pair of French philosophers living in the 18th century. The pair were equally famous for their works, despite despising each other for their different ideals. Rousseau is the most famous for writing The Social Contract, a work addressing his philosophy that all men are born good and are corrupted in life. Voltaire abhorred Rousseau's view of humanity and described his second treatise as against the human race, and insulted Rousseau for so articulately encouraging men to act like animals. He believed that humanity was naturally a terrible thing that could be improved upon, but was ultimately a pessimist regarding humans. Voltaire was also described by those who knew him personally as mischievous, which says something as to why Janice is Voltaire and Roman is the more sensitive Rousseau. They spent the rest of their lives in an endless quarrel and died at nearly the same time. Next, we want to speculate about Patton and Virgil's deteriorating relationship. Since dealing with intrusive thoughts, there has been a negative tension between Patton and Virgil. Clearly something happened between them behind the scenes, but we don't really have any clues as to what it was, other than a few passive-aggressive comments from Virgil. In Are There Healthy Distractions, Virgil says this.
Well, Thomas made his decision, and I think we should all just try to settle into it.
How are you telling me to settle into something right now when you've taken your sweet time to settle into things that you were uncomfortable with in the past?
Whatever happened caused Virgil to lose his faith in Patton. This tension is there again at the end card of Working Through Intrusive Thoughts, and in Have I Grown, Patton says he hopes that Virgil knows they love him. It is clear the communication is missing between them. Virgil also swears now something very dark side of him and something Patton is very adverse to. Thomas is more comfortable with Remus and Janice, going as far as to refer to Remus as just creativity instead of the usual intrusive thoughts. Speaking of Remus and Janice, they're married. More specifically, Janice refers to himself as the aunt of the sides and Remus refers to himself as the uncle. This is important because Virgil calls himself the gay cousin, insinuating that he considers the dark sides as more of a family than the light sides. Can we get an ouch in the chat? Patton, of course, considers himself the dad and Logan the mom, Logicality writes. And Roman proclaims himself as the son. We certainly love family dynamics.
Sorry this video turned out a lot longer than we thought it was going to, and it took a lot longer than we thought it was going to, but we just wanted to lay out our thoughts on these two new videos. Hopefully Thomas won't keep dropping lore and one-off videos like these, but for now it does seem like he's going on a bit of a hiatus until the finale in terms of Sanders Sides content, so you probably won't see a lot of side stuff from us for a little bit. So if you do have a theory you want to see, please put it in the comments so we can cover it. We're really hoping to cover Marvel stuff as No Way Home crawls closer, and possibly some Markiplier content as well. Happy Thanksgiving to anyone who celebrates it, and we hope you enjoy the video.